From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Brian Todd with today's Voice Briefing. It's Monday, April 1st, 2024.
I'm Kylie Martin for the Detroit Free Press. On Wednesday, the U.S. Department of Energy announced that they'd be giving a $1.5 billion loan to Holtec International to reopen Michigan's Palisades nuclear power plant in Covert Township, making it the country's first nuclear facility to reopen and leaving lots of Michiganders with lots of questions about the nuclear power industry. Nuclear power is produced through nuclear fission, a process that splits an atom into two parts and releases lots of heat that's used to turn water into steam to power a turbine and create energy, much more efficiently than any fossil fuel. Nuclear power is considered a cleaner source of energy in a sense that it doesn't produce carbon emissions, although it does create radioactive waste that we haven't quite figured out how to permanently dispose of yet. Regardless, officials believe that nuclear energy is the key to significantly reducing carbon emissions. And Michigan is no newbie to nuclear power. We got our first nuclear power plant up near Charlevoix back in 1959 and have since had 5 nuclear facilities in Michigan. Although one of them, called Fermi 1, underwent a small-scale accident in 1966 that people claim could have become as bad as Chernobyl or Fukushima, even though no radiation actually leaked outside of the containment building. Now, we have 3 nuclear power plants: Cook Nuclear Plant in Lake Charter Township, the Fermi 2 plant in Newport, and the Palisades plant in Covert Township, which was closed down in 2022 but might be making a reopening with the use of that $1.5 billion loan. The state of Michigan assures that the Nuclear Regulatory Commission monitors all nuclear plants to ensure the safety of the communities around them. But the state does recommend that people living or working within 10 miles of a nuclear plant stay up to date with emergency protocol in case of an accident at the facilities.
I'm John Carlisle with the Detroit Free Press. There's an old flag hanging in the historic courthouse in downtown Ionia, just west of Lansing. It's a deep blue color, woven from silk and embroidered with a message. That flag was given by the women of the town to local soldiers marching off to fight in the Civil War 160 years ago. The men carried it through all their battles, and when the survivors came home, they gave that flag back to Ionia. Please take care of it, they said, in memory of what we did. It's been on public display inside the ornate courthouse ever since. But over the years, the flag grew brittle. Restoration costs a fortune, and the county couldn't afford it. State officials came to town and offered to take it into their Civil War flag collection, which is missing only a single Michigan battle flag, the one in Ionia. But one man stood up to protest. The town, he said, had to keep its promise, and he made that promise his mission.
This is J.C. Reiner with the Detroit Free Press. The University of Michigan is going to buy a sliver of the old Kmart World Headquarters site in Troy to build a new medical center for its health system. The Michigan Medicine Center would cover about 7 acres of a total planned development spanning 28 acres. It would be the first center of its kind in Oakland County for Michigan medicine. The health system hasn't decided exactly what services it will offer, but expects some surgery and cancer services. U of M is paying just over $4 million for the land. The old Kmart headquarters was demolished last fall. The Forbes company declined to comment on the other types of developments that it plans to put on the site in the future.
Hi, I'm Arpan Lobo. I cover state government and politics for the Detroit Free Press. March Madness has descended on Detroit this weekend as Little Caesars Arena is hosting the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 games in the Midwest region of this year's bracket. But a tweet from a Michigan lawmaker has stirred up a bit of madness of its own. State Rep Matt Maddock, a Republican from Milford, tweeted a photo Wednesday evening of 3 buses leaving Detroit Metro Airport. In the tweet, Maddock said the buses were being loaded with, quote, illegal invaders. Republicans, broadly, have drawn attention to ongoing issues with immigration, particularly at the U.S. southern border with Mexico. There's a problem. There were no invaders on the buses. They were carrying the 4 teams playing in Detroit this weekend. Purdue, Tennessee, Creighton, and Gonzaga are all vying for a spot in the Final Four. Social media users were quick to point out that the same jet which Gonzaga flew to Detroit on was in the picture tweeted by Maddock. A spokesperson for the organization which oversees the airport confirmed the buses in the photo were carrying Hoopers, not invaders. Allegiant Airlines also confirmed it was their jet in the photo which took Gonzaga from Washington to Michigan. Maddock didn't respond to a voicemail seeking comment Thursday. While the post quickly became the butt of jokes online, there were others who say the language used by Maddock is dehumanizing. In a separate post, State Senator Mallory McMorrow said Maddock's post was, quote, a pretty rude and frankly dangerous way to welcome the Gonzaga men's basketball team.
Find more from the Detroit Free Press on freep.com. That's FREEP.com. Thanks for listening, and you'll hear more from us tomorrow.